And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. On my most recent $18 submission, the PSA, I had 22 cards included in that submission that were formerly graded by other grading card companies. Before I sent them the PSA, I cracked out all the cards from the other grading card company slabs, and then I submitted them raw to PSA. I did save the previous grade, so we're going to go over each grade, what it was, and what is it now with PSA. Hopefully, PSA didn't wreck us too bad, and let me know at the end of the video if you think the cross grading was worth it or if you think it was not worth it. So the first one, Super Modern Promo, Kanazawa Pikachu. You can see it had pretty strong subgrades, 10, 9, 5, 10, 9, 5. I think this was a pretty easy crossover. I was expecting a 10. And yes, it did hit the Gem Mint 10. The next card we have is a Shadowless Dugtrio. Now, when I had originally saw this card in the CGC slab at a grade of 8.5, I thought this card was like almost criminally underrated. It looked very clean, so I cracked it, resubmitted it, and we hit again, Gem Mint 10. The next card, again, a 9.5, the Megas Tokyo Pikachu. This was a Tokyo Pokemon Center special release. Again, relatively strong grades. You have 3 9.5s and a 9, and with the cross grade, hit another 10. Now, included with this submission was not just CGC. I also had a few GMA slabs. The reason why I actually like picking up GMA slabs because I heard a lot of people talking about GMA, how they give out 10s very easy, but I owned a few GMA slabs, and I never thought that they were easy graders. I just felt that their slabs are very cheap because obviously it's GMA. It doesn't get the, the premium that a PSA slab gets. So I've picked up a few and I've cracked them. So this one's the Dragonite, the number 5, the Black Star movie promo. And it went from a 9 to a 10. Then the next card, if everybody knows me, you know I like EX Sandstorm. I had a Lunatone that graded an 8.5. I cracked it, resubmitted it, and it hit the PSA 9. Next card is actually another GMA crack. It was a Magneton from Fossil. I thought this card was pretty clean. I thought this card was probably undergraded at a 7.5, so I cracked it, resubmitted it. Surface 8, centering 8.5, corners 9, edges 9. But CGC had given an 8.5, and with the resubmission, it went down a half a grade, and it hit the 8. The next card we had was a Shadowless Mewtwo. It had originally graded a Near Mint 7 at CGC. After resubmission, it didn't go up, it didn't go down, it just kept the same grade, Near Mint 7. Next card, we got a Venusaur from base set. It graded an 8.5 at GMA. With the resubmission of the PSA, went up a half grade, and we were able to get the PSA 9. I do like any cards that are strong 8s, because you have a pretty decent chance of potentially hitting that 9 with PSA. Again, we got another GMA, this time Flareon from Jungle. It's the Unlimited. It was graded a Near Mint 8 after resubmission. We were able to bump it up a full grade to a PSA 9. Obviously, you guys know me. I do love my Raichus, 8.5 being the most memeish grade for CGC. So after cracking, resubmitted, we were able to go from an 8.5 to a 9. Now, this is the promo Mew. This is from the Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, the movie promo. So it's technically the Secret Rare Hollow Phantoms, but I think you guys know what that means. But anyways, CGC graded it a 9, and it went down to an 8. So full number grade lower. Next, we got another GMA slab. It was a Hypno from Fossil, Unlimited. It was graded a Near Mint 8, or excuse me, Near Mint 7 after resubmission. It hit the PSA 8. So we got a full letter grade, or not a full number grade increase. Next, we got the Magneton from base set Hollow, hit an 8.5. With the resubmission, we were able to hit the PSA 9. So PSA 9 for base set is not bad. Next, we got a Pikachu, the Black Star promo from Heart Gold Soul Silver number 3. Now, the first 3 promos from Heart Gold Soul Silver came in the 3-pack blisters. This Pikachu was one of them. It was graded a 9 at CGC, and it dropped down a full grade to a PSA 8 after we submitted it. Next, we got a non-hollow Aerodactyl from Fossil, graded a GMA 8.5 after we submitted it. We were able to get a huge bump up in grade and went from an 8.5 at GMA all the way up to a Gem Mint 10. So that was definitely a nice crossover. Next, we have the Nod 2. This is the reverse hollow from Skyridge with subgrades. You have a 9.59 across the board. And with the resubmission, it stayed the same grade. Stayed a 9. Now, I'm sure you guys all recognize this card. It is the Golem from Skyridge. It was graded a CGC 9. Subgrades 9.595, 8.595. And after submitting to PSA, it stayed the same grade. But I would rather have this card personally in a PSA slab than a CGC slab. Now, this card, if you're not new to my channel, is actually a pretty famous card on my channel. This was the first CGC card that I ever bought. It was a reverse hollow Raichu from Skyridge. And when I looked at this card, and this was before I ever got a single submission back from CGC, I made a video just about this card, how I thought it was so criminally underrated by CGC. And I became extremely worried about my submission. And this was my first ever video where I critiqued CGC. The comment section in the video where I talked about this card, people were so negative to me, said there was no way that that card was well graded, all these things. So finally, after almost a year and a half worth of people being naysayers, we got the grade back and it went from a 9 to a Gem Mint 10. So for a reverse hollow from Skyridge, a 10 is an absolutely beautiful grade. It only took me about 18 months to say, guess what? I told you so on that Raichu. Next, this was part of the theme decks that I had cracked, submitted to CGC. I think the title of that video was like, fuck you, CGC. And I had this Flareon graded a 9 at CGC after submitted to PSA. Hit the Gem Mint 10. Again, this was part of that same submission. We had the Jolteon from Skyridge non-hollow, hit the 9 after resubmitted. We got the PSA 10. And then finally, the last card is the Vaporeon. It hit the 9 at CGC, and after resubmission, it hit the 10. So out of the cards that came out of the submission that I was most upset about, that I made a video and everybody told me I was crazy, all this stuff, currently we have 100% crossover rate from CGC 9s to PSA 10s. So those cards alone I think are pretty worth it. Let me know, guys, down in the comments, do you think this was a good crossover? Do you think these grades are worth it? Do you think I wasted money? Do you think this was good? Let me know. And as always, fuck you, CGC.